Let's welcome back our co-host, the Admiral Bill Stubblefield, two-star.
How would Stubblefield sound with an O or vowel behind it, Rob? Have you tried that?
I think you're more of an Irish than like, oh, Stubblefield.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Stubblefield.
in front as opposed to the
Or
back.
Mick Stubblefield.
Mick
Something like
Stubblefield.
that. Yeah. I don't think we're going to put you in the Italian column here today.
I tried.
Now, Maria, we could do it, the first name Maria. That would work.
That's right.
So
That's right.
Yeah,
There you
Maries
go.
and Marias all along the family line on my side. But
Absolutely.
no Stubblefields.
You might ask Maria about the movie that you saw and recommended to her about the Italian grandmothers cooking.
Oh, yeah, Nunnas, N-N-A-S. It's on Netflix. It's Vince Vaughn, and it's just great. The opening scene brought tears to my eyes as I was watching all that stuff being cooked and eaten.
It's
Every Sunday in my house growing up.
delightful movie to watch. It's new to Netflix.
Okay.
If you haven't watched it, Maria.
What's the name of it again?
Nunnas, N-O-N-N-A-S. That's Italian for grandma.
The grandma name, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, our guests in this segment, the Sheriff of Berkeley County, Rob Blair. Robert, good to see you.
Good to see you.
His chief, Eric Burnett.
Morning, sir.
I understand you're only here as a support animal today. Just give him a squeeze whenever you get nervous. Bill, you can do that too. Just give him a good old hug and squeeze whenever you get nervous.
Are you kidding me? With these two guys like this, I'm not going to do anything except humble myself in front of them. Salute, snap my heels together.
Oh, you're a humble guy anyway.
You're military, so.
Military, yeah,
That would
but
work.
I know where the power lies with these two.
Yeah.
Right to my right.
How you been, Rob?
Been doing well.
How's life treating you, man? Good?
I've had some family stuff going on last week, but as far as the job goes, we're doing well at the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office.
Very good. And you are limited to this term, correct? Because you fulfilled a previous term, and it's a two-term limit no matter how many days you served the first term?
I did 11 months the previous term, and then I was, of course, elected back in November to serve these 4 years, and according to the state constitution, that's 2 terms. Now, there was some bills presented before the legislature, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it would have to be a constitutional amendment to change that. And actually, they had a resolution drafted up to define what a term is, and it would have been more than 2 years as opposed to just, I mean, you serve 1 day and it's considered a term. Yeah. So I think that was reasonable. It wasn't something that came from another part of the state, but I was supportive of it. I think it would be reasonable, but at this point, I'm termed out.
Yeah, the definition of a term is one thing, but you're right, it's a constitutional amendment, and they did have it to the voters, 12 years or so ago?
I believe so.
And it was rejected handily, that of having the sheriffs been able to be more than 2 terms.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from a place where there were unlimited terms for many, many years. Isn't that correct? Or certainly more than 2 terms now, and it was a power issue?
Well, the power issue is the definition, because the sheriff is, in a lot of places, is the most powerful person in that county, and the sheriffs are the only elected office that are termed out. Every other elected office can have unlimited terms, but not the sheriff.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Sheriff and the governor.
Yeah.
Sheriff and that's right, and the governor. And the governor.
That's right.
And we are one of only 3 states that have term limits on sheriffs. That's an interesting fact.
Are you able, after you serve 2 terms, to sit out and then run again, or is it 2 terms for a lifetime?
2 terms for a lifetime.
No. I could sit out and I could run again.
I was thinking it was 2 terms for a lifetime. Okay, I stand corrected then.
So
It's kind of like the governor.
So can the governor.
I was going to
Cecil
say
Underwood.
Cecil Underwood.
You're exactly right.
He was the
Exactly
youngest
right. Thanks,
governor,
Rob.
and then
Yeah.
he was the oldest governor.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm going to plan on doing that.
So do you want to be the oldest sheriff?
I feel like the oldest sometimes. So.
Well, you hang in there, man.
Yeah.
Right, hang in there. Joe Funkhauser, Delegate Funkhauser, we had him in here yesterday. He had proposed a bill to extend sheriff's terms to 2 6-year terms as opposed to 2 4-year terms. Did you have any input on that at all, Rob, when he was putting that in?
I saw that bill, and being in this position now, I think that would be a good change, because we had a year to kind of figure things out. We stepped into a little bit of a mess, so to speak, and we got the things going the right direction, and now we're moving into our first really full year of doing things. And I think 6 years would be a reasonable amount of time because, maybe part of the problem is the overturn. Every 4 years it changes and there's another direction. And so if you have someone doing a good job and the people want to elect that person and give them 6, that'd be 12 years. I think it's reasonable. I was supportive. I remember that bill. I was supportive of that one too. Yeah.
The office of sheriff in Berkeley County, for whatever reason, over the last maybe 15, 20 years, has been the most subject to drama of any of the offices, I think, in the county, even when you consider some of the interesting things that happened with the Berkeley County Commission a couple of years ago. That's gone. I'm not hearing about it. I don't see it, and I don't read about it anywhere. And nobody is texting me, hey, you're not going to believe what's going on. This is what's going on. Look into it kind of messages anymore. I'm not hearing about that. What have you done, you and your chief, to change that culture?
Well, I think the main thing, when I first took office, I spoke to every deputy individually, and I spoke about self-accountability. And we tried to bring that because accountability starts with the individual, and then it just grows from there. And I have good staff around me. Most know the expectations. I support every deputy that we have there. Now we certainly have our internal issues at times, but we deal with those. Some make the paper. We deal with those. But I think probably I don't go on Facebook or social media and argue with people. I will state facts and talk to individuals, one-on-one, and try to do the next right thing. That's something I tell everyone: just do the right thing. So I'm very low drama, and hopefully that's been contagious throughout the agency. We just want to do the right thing. I want to leave this position and leave the sheriff's office a lot better than I found it. And that's my goal.
Yeah, we have a pretty good sense of what the sheriff does, and I think the current sheriff is doing a marvelous job. We have less of a sense of what the chief does.
Because he doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk.
He's the support guy.
But he does a lot, believe me.
He does a lot. That's a point. He does a lot. Chief, what are your duties?
Well,
Besides giving moral support to the sheriff.
So we came on here, and it's been about a year and a half or so now, and we try to bring a lot of things to the agency that weren't here. Recently, we just brought on DUI checkpoints, and we had our first DUI checkpoint here about a month and a half ago or so, and
you have another one coming up soon too.
We have 2, so we're going to do 2 back-to-back checkpoints. The first one is going to be May 23rd from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's going to be on Grade Road in Forever Green Drive, and then the second one is going to be the next day. It's going to be May 24th for the same times, right in front of Marlowe School, Route 11 North. Our first DUI checkpoint was very successful. We had about 15 deputies there, a trooper, some of our reserves as well, and we made 3 DUI arrests, several driving suspended for DUIs. We had about 1,260 cars come through. We check every single vehicle for their license, registration, insurance, and then we go ahead and go from there. So that was brought.
He's brought a lot to the sheriff's office through. Before our deputies couldn't work contract work, he worked his tail off getting that where they can work off duty doing contract work. He brought military surplus to the agency that we can go find equipment, and we found some good equipment recently to resource the sheriff's office. He handles a lot of personnel matters for me on the law enforcement side.
Going back to DUI checkpoints, and I'm sure there's a good reason, but it's never been explained. What are the reasons that Supreme Court, that's why you have to give a predetermined where it's going to be and the location?
Yes, sir.
So as soon as you go, as soon as you find a spot that you want to go ahead and do one, you got to notify the papers, and I'm sure you guys just saw one yesterday that I think I sent out 2 last night late.
You did.
So you got to notify the papers, and that's all a Supreme Court ruling that we have to notify the public of a DUI checkpoint. And some people read the papers, some people don't. We still find DUIs come through. But I will say that back in the 90s, there used to be a lot of DUI arrests being made.
Yeah.
as far as checkpoints go. I think there was one time we had 20 couple DUI arrests back in the late 90s. Now if you get 2 or 3, that's a lot. So I think the public knows not to drink and drive, and this just helps.
Uber has helped a lot with that.
Yes,
Right.
yes, sir.
Much easier to get a ride home now.
Yes, sir. So the sheriff just said about contract work. Our deputies can work off duty. They make a predetermined pay per hour. They can work on the interstates. They can work for construction details. They can work for Walmart. They can work for any place, and it goes through the sheriff's office, and they're paid through the sheriff's office. So these companies pay us. They're making $110 an hour, and they're paid through us, and we go ahead and pay our people.
Does that money then count toward their pension?
It does.
Is that why you run them payments through the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir. I can say that the state police, when the state police do these contracts, they aren't counted on their retirement, which is a big, it hurts them a lot. But yeah, this does go through retirement.
Did this require legislative authorization?
No, sir.
It did not. Something you can implement yourself.
He had to
Yes,
work
sir.
with the Civil Service Commission, the County
Okay.
Commission,
Okay.
and we have a great relationship with the County Commission and the Civil Service Commission.
So the contract work you do is all uniform related in some ways, not.
Yes, sir.
In other words,
Besides-
you'd not be stacking the store shelves. You'd actually be doing something.
Oh no, it's law enforcement.
Uniform,
It's all law
They have us there for
enforcement
law
related.
enforcement
It's for
purposes.
security.
Yes, sir.
They also put us. We set up a contract with the Pikeside School. I'm not sure if you guys know what the Pikeside School is, but we have 2 deputies in there per shift, and they're making sure that all those students in there are safe. And that's also a contract.
You mentioned that. Let's kind of take out the safety resource officers in the school and what the actual Berkeley County school system is doing within their own system, and tell me how that's progressing.
I worked with Dean Olak, and you know Dean, and some other individuals within the legislature this past session on a school bill to get SSOs in every school, and that bill actually passed. I think there was an effort last year to get that bill passed, and it didn't make it through, but this year it did, and there is no way. I mean, right now we are at the sheriff's office, 7 or 8 short of our max, and in order to hire enough deputies to put in every school, I just can't do it. So this was an avenue to allow. It's even for private schools. The way the law, I don't have the law. I may have it here with me, but that gives them the opportunity to hire SSOs as security officers that in turn work with us. They do firearms training with us, and we do some other training the way the bill's written. I think it's a great bill. It's a great start. Maybe we can make changes on down the road, but it gives a couple different avenues on how these schools can hire a security officer. And I think that's very important to have in every school.
It seems to have also quieted the discussion of allowing teachers to be armed inside the schools, which we've had a lot of shows on, and you can build a case for or against pretty easily on either side.
Yeah, it's a shame we have to talk about this. It's where we are in society. We see it on the news, but we can't ignore it anymore. I think it's something that we have to face head on, and it's not going to solve every issue, but it's a start, and we can build from it. And I think it's something that's been far too long in the making, and then we finally have that bill, and it gives Dean and his officers some backing on what they can and cannot do, and it also allows us to work with them because we're the ones that are going to be responding. Us and the state police, city police will be responding if there is ever an incident.
Can I go back to checkpoint very quickly because you
Yes.
have several comments on our Facebook page. If you're stopped, everyone, I assume, is treated the same. Everyone is driver's license check unless there is a violation. So you can have your driver's license can be requested and have to be shown whether there's a traffic violation or not. Is that correct?
Shown, yes, sir.
So everybody's treated the same
Yes,
under
sir.
the guidance of the Supreme Court ruling.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Maria.
So, to change gears a little bit, can you speak at all to the ongoing investigation in the tax office? Who's at the at the forefront of that investigation. Can you talk about that at all?
Okay. Obviously, there's been an issue at the tax office, and I had to make personnel decisions last fall. I'll back up all the way to when I first took office.
Thank you.
There were issues, maybe not necessarily at the tax office at that time, but within the sheriff's office itself. And there were investigators I've known for 30 plus years already working. And my pledge to them from the beginning was, you have the total resources of the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office at your disposal. We will do anything. I want every account touched. And I allowed the state auditor's office full access. I even assigned a law enforcement officer to the tax office eventually in the fall of last year. And he has been working with the state tax office, their auditors, and
He's done a great job as well.
Yes,
He's done outstanding work.
It's Lieutenant Bill Christian, and I can't praise him enough for the work he's done, and he's working with them, with the prosecutor's office, the federal prosecutor's office, and as far as commenting on the investigation, I can assure the citizens of Berkeley County that it has been investigated, and there will be a resolution to it.
Do you anticipate indictments forthcoming? I know that's not within your bailiwick necessarily, but is that something that that Berkeley County residents can anticipate?
I can say they can anticipate justice being served in this matter, and that is my that was my desire from the beginning. And for me to comment on anything about it would not be proper. I would like to say things, but I just can't do that at this point. But rest assured, every day I meet with Lieutenant Christian, and he shares with me what he can. There's certain things he can't share with me because he's a part of this investigation. And but rest assured, it will be resolved.
Sheriff Rob Blair, our guest on the program, along with his chief, Eric Burnett. Did you have another comment, Rob?
Yes, and I also wanted to say, through this, next Monday, I believe is it Monday the 19th?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Leah Darling will be the new tax director for Berkeley County. She's been hired, and she has a start date of Monday the 19th. She comes from Virginia. She has a extensive background in tax work in the state of Virginia, and I purposely had a process to. We interviewed many people, and we had a panel that brought people in that were professionals, and I wanted to do what was best for Berkeley County, because what we're facing right now, I think we need to move forward, and that's what we're doing. So Monday she will start, and I'm looking forward to that.
There's been some discussion, Robin, I don't know that it's gotten any great momentum, about breaking out the sheriff's duties, removing that tax collecting part from it. A good idea or a bad idea?
You know, that will be a legislative decision. Most sheriffs that come in, I'll just be honest with you, they come in with a law enforcement background. That's me. I've got 36 plus years. Actually, I'll be 59 this year. I was born into law. My dad was a trooper when I was born, so it's all I know. It's just what I do. And but you are the treasurer of the county, and all throughout the state of West Virginia, there's chief. They call them chief tax deputies. But I found out through this process, it's not in code. There's nothing in code that says chief tax deputy. So Leah would be known as our tax director of Berkeley County. You know, that's a decision out of my hands, and I know there's a lot of resistance from sheriffs because they believe that takes power away from the sheriff. It's really not a decision that would be anything I could make.
I believe it's also constitutional as opposed to statute.
Yes,
At this
Bill.
point it is, yes.
Yes, Bill, it
You're
is.
correct. I've got about a minute and a half till we go to break. Obviously, there have been some fairly high-profile drug busts in the county over the last time since we've had you in, and I assume there's additional investigations ongoing?
We are always, maybe you could speak more to it with some of the, he does a lot of our press release. We're always constantly, with drug work, our deputies may seize some drugs, and you may not hear about it, the public may not hear about it. They'll hand that off to the task force or a lot of the federal investigators and grow that case. So that's why you have a task force. But some of the cases are just, you take to local court. But yeah, we're constantly looking out here on patrol for drug traffickers and whatnot. But yeah.
About 30 seconds, Chief. Any comments?
As far as the drugs go, something just happened here about a week or two ago where this didn't hit the paper because we sort of kept it quiet in a way. But some of our guys found 5,000 pounds of marijuana inside of a trailer. The suspect was deceased. The property was turned over to the family. The family went in there and found these 40-gallon totes just stuffed full of marijuana. So there's a lot of drugs still here in the county, and we're doing the best that we can to go ahead and quell all that.
I'd say 5,000 pounds is a pretty good-sized stash.
Yes,
It
sure is.
Residence. Gentlemen, thank you both very much. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Stay safe.
Thank you, sir.